Hello and welcome, everyone. I am your host, LaShanta, and we are on the road to an effective classroom environment. This month marks our 1 year anniversary. Yay! One fabulous year of having this podcast coming to you. And we have been traveling on this journey trying to obtain and maintain an effective classroom environment. And in this journey, we have had the opportunity to travel into many different homes across the country in the United States, as well as across the world in various different countries, the United Kingdom, Austria, just various places. And so I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you. If you find this podcast to be a resource and you find it to be rewarding, please share this information with your colleagues and share it with a friend. But we have been able to come into 28 countries, 85 cities, and without technology, we would not be able to do that. So that is one of the benefits of technology, is being able to reach such a diverse audience. So again, thank you so much, and I hope you continue to come with me on this journey. We have many more topics to cover, and we're going to dive into later on looking at school culture in general. So I wanted to kind of stay focused on the classroom, but we're also going to get into topics that talk about school climate in general. This episode will be dedicated to our assistant principals, to and for our assistant principals. Last week was our appreciation week, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to just share some nuggets of information with my colleagues in the United States and across the world, because we are moving towards ending one school year and diving into another. And there are just some things that we want to keep in mind and remind ourselves on a daily basis in order to be more effective in our roles. Because as assistant principals, we should be supporting the journey of the teachers in an effective classroom environment, just as we support the principal in his or her vision for that school. We are also there to support teachers, support staff. We are those eyes and ears and the arms and the legs of this great system. So we're just going to jump in, and just one major thing that I have to remind myself, and even when I began in administration, about 14 years now, I've been in administration. One thing that I continue to work on and to make sure I don't forget is to prioritize my week. And that's one of the biggest reminders that I can give APs, is to make sure that you prioritize your week. Stay close to your schedule. Make adjustments as needed, and remain focused on what your weekly goals are. This is so important because you don't want to just get behind because you've allowed other things they're still important, but you've allowed things to come in front of what you've scheduled, and then you've forgotten all about the scheduled part. For instance, you can have parents that come in that need your ear. They didn't set up an appointment, but the situation is critical, and it would be beneficial for you to listen to that parent right then and there. You may have meetings that come up sporadically that are scheduled outside of the school that you must attend to. And again, whatever you had to do for that time period that you were at school, you still have to make up for whatever was on your schedule. So this is probably the most important nugget that I can give you, because I'm talking not only to you, but I'm talking to myself as well. Prioritizing my week, sticking to that schedule. You don't want to find yourself getting so behind that, for instance, teacher evaluations. You know that there is a structured schedule and plan for those to be done. And so if you forget that you've got to go back to your schedule, you're going to miss out on some key components. And one of those things that you could get messed up in is not having your evaluations done on time. So many things. If you're a part of just working with different plans in the building, if you're working on different committees, sometimes our job is looked at as one dimensional, whether it's we look at it that way or others perceive it to be that way. But we're not just in that building to handle discipline and to do referrals. Um, the old saying was, APs dealt with buses, butts, and books. Well, that's no longer the case. And you don't just have where an AP works on buses, butts, and books. And out of those three, sometimes discipline it can be a major beast and it can take up a lot of your time. But please keep in mind that you have many other roles that you serve in that role of assistant principal or other roles. So stick to that schedule. Two more things that I want to leave you with as you are helping your teachers to have an effective classroom environment. Two things that you yourself need to do. Know your people. Know them for who they are as professionals and know them as individuals as well. That basically means you know them for what they do in the classroom and how they deliver their lessons, but you also need to know something about them. Do your teachers have children? Do they have spouses? Are they getting married? Are they having babies? Have they lost a loved one that was a significant person to them? Know something about your people. Just as we expect our teachers to build rapport with students, we ourselves should build rapport with our teachers. That's keeping in mind that there is a line that is still there in the sand. You are supervisor, and they are your teachers that you're helping to support. So make sure that in getting to know individuals that there is still that professional line that is drawn in the sand. The second thing that I wanted to leave you with is make sure you make frequent visits within that week's time to classrooms. Give that immediate feedback to the teachers about their performance. Start off with a positive. I always try to start off with something positive. And even if the lesson was just way subpar, always start off with a positive when you're leading into giving this feedback to the teacher. You've got to be able to find something, some strength, something that you liked. They had the teacher had the objective on the board, or the teacher smiled when the students answered questions. Have a positive, start off with a positive, and then give that individual time to reflect with you as well as individually. That reflection piece is so important. But just these two things alone, a lot of these things, or these two things you may look at, they need to be done at the beginning of the year. And that's true. But guess what? You may have where a teacher will leave in the middle of the year and then someone comes in that person's place. You may have long-term subs that start off that school year and they may still be there throughout the school year. You still need to be able to know something about the people that are instructing the children in that building. And you still have to be able to make those visits to those classrooms. So it's very important that you keep in mind the reminder for today is prioritize your schedule. And that is something that comes with practice and meaningful practice and purposeful practice. And then in helping our teachers build that rapport and having that effective classroom environment, make sure that number one, you know your people, and number two, that you visit them frequently, giving them feedback. And that's the most important thing that I think I could give you right now, as far as helping your jobs to be that of supporting your teachers. So I hope you enjoyed your week. Assistant principals, we have a lot going on. We know the principal has so much that he or she does in a day as well. But I wanted to take the time to just share some knowledge just specifically for us And I hope that you will tune back in for our next episode. The next episode, we will be going more towards discussing school climate. So I will not wait so long to see you again, but please tune in next time. Share this resource with a friend or colleague. This has been The Road to an Effective Classroom Environment, and I am your host, LaShanta. Have a good one.